All right, today we're going to make some turkey meatballs. This is one of my favorite recipes we discovered. So it's pretty simple, tasty. So right now, what I'm going to start doing, small dice it. So I've got my onion. I'm going to place this into the bowl. Making me cry. So what else I'm going to do? I got 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds of turkey, ground turkey. And I'll also throw this in a bowl. The bowl with the onion. So I got the onions in the bowl. I got my turkey in the bowl. So we're going to season it. So I got some salt here. Put a little salt, little pepper. This is my favorite. Pepper and salt. A little garlic. Garlic powder. I use like granulated garlic. Get that all nice and seasoned. We're gonna add some fresh sage to it. So if you ever work with fresh herbs, spices, you know you don't want any stems. So we'll pick it all off. Smells so good. So the secret on using fresh herbs and spices, especially fresh herbs, you want to roll it. So what happens to this when you're rolling it? It will release its natural oils. So I'm going to dice this up. So we got the sage in there. Got the salt. We got the pepper. So I'm going to add a couple of eggs for the binder, which I got there. And then since this is a healthy recipe, I'm going to be using almond flour first. Instead of regular flour, I'm going to be using almond flour. So let's call for a third of a cup, but I got 2 pounds, so I'm going to add a little more. So there's about a third right there. So we'll add a little bit. That's basically going to be your glue. So we have the bowl here. So what I normally do is I like to mix things together. So what this recipe calls for is cranberries, fresh cranberries. Cranberries are out of season right now, so I'm going to improvise it. I'm going to use pomegranate. So we got some pomegranate seeds. Pour those bad boys in there. With the cranberries, you're going to want to chop them up, just because they're so big. So I'm going to start mixing these bad boys up. Mix it all so it's all incorporated. And if you have a standing mixer, you can mix this in there too. I like to do it by hand. Control the speed. Get in there, mix it up. All right, it's in there. It's pretty well. So after I got all that, we got our mix here, so we're gonna just make meatballs. Want to make them bite sized. Roll them up. Bite size, third maybe. Roll them up nice and there you go, just like that. But what I like to do with my meatballs is I like to sear them before I bake them. Just give them a nice little crust. So after I make all these and form these all into balls, I'm gonna take them in a saute pan, sear the bad boys up, throw them back on the sheet pan, which I have here with parchment paper, and then I will finish them all in the oven. I just like getting that crust that you would have with a meatball. I mean, you can do it without it to save some time or save some steps, but the flavor of it is, for me, is a lot better. I've made these a few times, been a big hit. And then after they're done, after they're in the oven, I'm going to make a sauce for them, and it's a very quick, easy sauce. It's really good. They're starting to get a little big. Let's cut that down. And when you're cooking using poultry, you're going to want to cook these all the way through. It's not like beef where you can eat it medium rare. So you want to cook it to 165. It's 165 degrees. Right now I have my oven. It's heated up to 400 degrees. So after I just sear on these, I will stick them in the oven and finish them in the oven. But you want your oven to be about 400 degrees. Cook them for about 12 to 15 minutes. And the sauce I'll show you here in a second. After I get these all seared off. And that look good. Wish people can smell these. This is the first time I've ever used the pomegranate seed for this, so it'll be a learning experience for both of us to see how the flavor wise and how it tastes. Cranberries give it a little tartness, which I'm sure the pomegranate seed will. Usually makes about 24 meatballs per pound. So we got a little more than a pound. We got 2.5 pounds. So we'll have dinner for a couple days. All right. So we got all these rolled out. So what I got back here is I got my saute pan going. Remember, hot pan for hot food. What you want. So I'm going to do is turn it down a little bit now because it's hot. I am going to add a little bit of avocado oil. A little bit of avocado oil. My favorite thing in the kitchen. You can tell this pan is nice and hot. See how that oil is running all over. So the reason why you use a little oil for things, actually your heat conductor. What around everything. So I'm going to throw these in. This is the secret part right here. So I'm getting a nice sear coat. See how that's browning right there? That's what we want. So we're going to start flipping them. See, that's the color you want right there. So it gets a nice little. What basically when you do this, it sears all the flavor in. You see how this is nice and brown and golden right there. That's what you want. Um, by doing this, it's gonna sear in all the flavor of everything. Um, all right, now that we have all these done, we're gonna put these in the oven, 400 degrees, for about 15 minutes. My oven is one of those ovens where I always add a extra 5 minutes, so I am going to actually throw them in for like 18 minutes. That's just how ovens work sometimes. Now that they're in the oven, we have time to make our dip for the meatballs. So this is pretty simple. Pretty simple. So because I'm gonna make it healthy, so I have some Greek yogurt here, and we're gonna need about a cup. And for those people out there who don't like to measure like me, or that's a little more than a cup. Yeah, but anyway, we're gonna go. So we're gonna throw some lemon juice. And then I got some fresh dill here. So basically, same thing when you're using it tops. You don't want any stems. We'll get a little because of it still. And whenever you're using fresh, it's so much better than fried. Has more flavor to it. Again, let's roll it up so it releases its flavors. Gonna take my knife. And you can adjust how much you put in here. I like dill, so I'll add a little more. So we got fresh dill, little pepper, salt to taste. Then I'll mix it up. Simple. So now there's our dipping sauce for our meatballs. And once they're ready, let the meatballs rest for about 10 minutes before you do anything with them. Let all those juices suck back into the meatball and all the flavor. And then they'll be ready to serve. So with that, I'll show you my final product in about 14 minutes. All right, so here is a finished product with the turkey meatballs. There's the sauce that we made with the Greek yogurt and the lemon juice and the fresh dill. And this is the finished product of the turkey meatballs. So that's what they should look like. They taste good, and so I'm hungry, so I'm going to start eating.